Hi YouTubers, around there crossing all. Today we're ranking deer videos because obviously there's obviously 12 of them, but obviously we're not ranking Shino or even Chelsea, are we? So we're keeping them like, aside. So that's why I'm going with, 10 of them today. So it might be less than the average, but obviously it's going to be quite fun, isn't it? So that's why I'm going to do it by myself today, because obviously Melba, she talks too much, doesn't she? And she also repeats the word hate a lot, and obviously that's quite harmful, isn't it? That's why I'm going to say don't like instead, because obviously I know that word's a bit, too harmful and a little bit hateful as well. So that's why we make sure we don't use that word anyway. So that's why we're not going to say it anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's get into it, shall we? 'Cause I'm quite excited right now. So our first one is Bam. Well, the thing is, he is actually a jock video, but obviously he's like, a very cool one, isn't he? But I know some of you do like him, so I can't blame you, because he's quite, a generous looking one, isn't he? And plus, you don't see blue deers in real life, do you? But obviously I do like Bam. He's quite, unique. He's also sporty. He looks like he's gonna pick a fight with somebody or whatever, but obviously he's like, the best jock in the whole wide world, and he thinks he's a champion. So that's what I can say about jocks, because jocks, they just want to keep fit all the time. But for me, if I was thinking this through, I think Bam should get a high. So maybe roughly a 9 out of 10, but normally if Mel was here, she would be thinking she would overreact, wouldn't she? But obviously, if we're doing this separately, you guys are going to literally hear me what I'm going to go for. But if you guys are doing it from a tier list, do it differently, alright? Maybe an S tier or A tier, any of the others, okay? I don't mind. But at the same time, let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Bo. Well, the thing is, I do like his design very much, because obviously it looks quite, autumn or winter themed, but I like the sound of it. The thing is, his catchphrase Salt Link, I quite like it, because it sounds like you got a little bit of a bit of salt and you sprinkle it over something. Well, that's what I think it sort of stands for, but I might be wrong, but who knows. But I'm just sort of thinking, his name, I think it stands for handsome, which is quite a funny fact, isn't it? But obviously Mel, if she was literally watching this right now, she will literally go mad, and I know it for sure. But for me, I'll give Bo probably a 9 out of 10. I'm still not giving him a 10 out of 10, but the thing is, he's not quite my favourite, so if it was a 10 out of 10, I would have gone higher, wouldn't I? But obviously, for Bo's sake, it has to be a 9, because he's cool, isn't he? Anyways, let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Bruce. Well, the thing is, Bruce is quite, he's one of those crankies that really needs some help right now. So I know for sure that Bruce, he never gets mentioned about, and I know for sure that Bruce needs some help, doesn't he? I like his design a little bit, but the problem is, because of the crankies, some of the crankies are underrated. Well, Bruce might be one of them. The problem is, I have no idea where I'm going to put him, because it's going to be quite hard for me to pick out of 10, So I wouldn't mind if you guys help me out, but obviously let me think for a little while, okay? So let me just think this through. Oh, I might have to go with a 4 out of 10, because one thing is I would have given him a 5, but at the same time it was quite hard for me to pick. And also he might have a little bit of a bad reputation, because sometimes their house interiors are got graffiti on them. Sometimes I don't like that sometimes, so that's all my opinion anyway. So that's why I've decided not to go with it. So that's what I'm going to mean really. But anyways, let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Deidre. Well, the thing is, I've not really encountered Deidre before, but obviously she's quite, a unique deer. And the thing is, I feel like she's missing out, in the AnimalCrossingPaw.com, because I don't see her often, in the top most popular ones, And I feel really bad for her, because she doesn't need to deserve this, doesn't she, being least popular? But obviously for me, if she's the only sister that no one likes, I feel really bad, because I know that Fawn's taking all the glory, but for Deidre, she needs more support, so that's why I'm going to give her a 5 out of 10. So if you guys want to give her a high, a low, whatever, I'll suggest you do it anyway. But anyways, let's get to the next one, because I'm getting quite, excited for the next ones, So our next one is Diana, the Queen. Well, the thing is, I know that sometimes everyone's thinking to themselves, well, how comes Diana's being ranked today? Well, she is today, so I'm going to give her an absolute high. But also, I know that her name Diana refers to someone that we sort of know, which is Diana, who was one of the, one of the princesses who King Charles, lived up to, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of history behind this one. But I like her design. She looks more glamorous, and she looks more unique, and she looks so beautiful. I may give her more likely a 10 out of 10. Because look at her. I feel like she should be tier 1 because one thing, I feel like poor Diana's missing out on, you know, the most populars in AnimalCrossingPortal.com. And I feel so bad for her because she needs to be up there, doesn't she? Oh, can you guys, I promise you guys, please vote for her because I know for sure that some of you do love Diana. Well, especially me, but obviously I feel like she needs to be like, you know, where tier 1 is because that's not fair, her being lower than that. Because look, Diana needs some help here, and plus she's very, you know, she's very loyal, she's very cool, and she's so, you know, beautiful, and you all love her to bits, so you might as well support her, right? And plus, I would recommend her being high because it was really nice if she was, but at the same time, let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next one is Eric. Well, the thing is, Eric looks like a moose, and plus he's another lazy. And obviously, the one we had before was Diana, who was an absolute cool snooty, wasn't she? But obviously, for Eric's sake, I feel like he's like a wintry villager, in my opinion. He doesn't look much of a deer, but at least he looks like something different for a change, like a moose. And mooses, they live in cold temperatures, so you could describe that as being a wintry villager, in my opinion. But for me, you know what I'm going to give Eric? Maybe a 9, but I was just thinking so. But if you guys like him so bad, then give him an S tier or A tier, or maybe just a 10 out of 10 if you like him so bad. Because obviously he's like, you know, a lovely deer, isn't he? Or moose, but it depends. Let's get to the next one, shall we? Because I'm getting really excited right now. So our next one is Fauna. Well, obviously she's on my iron right now, but obviously I do love her every day because one thing, she always gives you some different gossip every day, and plus she does water your plants if you don't have any plants near your iron. But the thing is, if you're thinking about stuff about Fauna, she does like nature, in my opinion, but obviously she's like, you know, a natural deer, and obviously everyone's gonna vote her so high because she's a natural deer. I don't know why everything's been natural these days, but obviously for me, because Fauna's like, you know, my favourite and all, I'm going to give her a 10 because she's really like, you know, the best deer villager that I've ever had on my iron so far. But obviously for you guys, if you have her like had a longer or maybe like, you know, 3 months for example, then if you do love her, then you might as well, you know, consider getting her back to your irons, or maybe you still keep her on your irons, but it depends really. But anyways, let's get to our next one, shall we? Because I don't want to be talking too much, do I? So our next one is Fuchsia. The thing is, Fuchsia's like, you know, another sisterly villager, but obviously she's not one of the best sisterly villagers of deers that are in the species. But for me, I know for sure that she's like, you know, bright pink. And if you guys are recommending for her, like, you know, around fairy core or any other cores that you recommend her in, then go for it. But for me, I know that she's like, you know, too pink, isn't she? But obviously, I've got to give her, like, you know, something around 10. So I'm going to be giving me a little think for a little bit, okay? I might give her a 9 because one thing is, she is very unique. But obviously, I know I can't stand the pinkness of her. But for me, I feel like she's like the one that needs to be around a 9. Because she's not personally my favourite, even though I've had her like once on one of my islands, really. But obviously, one of my new islands, really. But for me, I'll think that spot will be the best spot for her anyway. But for me, I think that would be the best spot. But at the same time, let's get to the next one, shall we? So my next one is Lopez. Well, the thing is, he's a lazy villager, but obviously he resembles a gazelle. One of those gazelles in real life. But obviously he looks so charming and handsome. I feel like he's one of those ones that you'd really want so bad. Because obviously Lopez is like, you know, he looks quite, you know, posh. He looks cool. You want him so bad on your irons. I would recommend getting him if you want him so bad. But for me, I do love him so bad. So I would go for 10 out of 10. Because that would be a really good score for him. Because he's the best one. Who's the best deer or gazelle, in my opinion. That's the best one I can find. And I think he deserves to be tier 1. If no one agrees with me on this. But at the same time, let's get to our last one, Sherry. Hopefully, it's not a low ranker. Hopefully. So our last one is, well, the thing is, he looks a bit, you know, depressed a little bit. And that's all I could probably say, because if you look at his eyes, he looks like he's like, meh. I just don't want to do anything, meh. But he's one of those smugs that I don't really want to get, because one thing is, Zell looks a bit, you know, weird. A bit like a weirdo sort of thing. But he's one of the worst smugs that I can think of in this, you know, like, you know, the species of deers I'm ranking right now. But for me, Cell's not the one I like. He's not the one for me. He has to be a 1 out of 10 because look at him. I can't stand the look of him, that's what I can say. And he's a bit meh, like real meh. I just wish one day they could fix up his little, his sort of look a little bit without looking like, depressed, because I feel really bad when he looks like that. I feel like he's not, one of those ones that you say hi to every day. He looks like one of those weirdos that just try and, steal your money, like steal your bells, like all that sort of stuff. That's what I can say about Cell. So if you guys don't like Cell, I will definitely guarantee go low. If you do like Cell, then I feel happy you guys if you go for him, because obviously he's also another underrated video in my opinion. But anyway, let's get back to the camera, shall we? Well, there's a lot of high rankers in the group, which was very good of me, but obviously I might have overreacted a little bit when it came to Diana, because obviously Diana's like, the queen, she's special, she's awesome, you can imagine everything from her, but obviously for me, I might have overreacted, too much, but obviously it was enough to, prove to you that I do like some of the videos that I like to rank sometimes. So if you guys do want to see more in the future, I would like to know that soon enough in the comments if you want to do that soon enough, okay? Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, of course. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel yet, please do. It will help me out a lot. And by the way, my goal is 50 subscribers if you haven't remembered that already. And also turn on notifications for Animal Crossing content from me. As I can say, so goodbye from me on Animal Crossing. I'll see you next one, so bye!